Hi guys, it's Black Spring with the Autumn here. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get in here, but I decided to try to come back anyway. What was it? I'll just try to give you guys a couple of minutes to get back in and see what the connection is looking like. Not sure what's going to happen here, but we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try. What do we got to lose? Let's see. And this is just another test, by the way. Nothing too serious, nothing too crazy that's gonna happen right about now. Not sure if the connection is the issue right now or what happened earlier, but we'll find out, right? That's what we do around here. Troubleshoot nonsense, and we go out, we come back in. Hey, hi Anarchy Television. Anarchy, can you give me a 5x5, or if you can give me a Roma Lima Charlie? And thank you for loving on the like button. If you could do that, I'm just trying to see if I was on for a little while earlier. Perfect. I was on just a little while earlier, and all of a sudden the sound went out. So I'm gonna see if that's gonna happen. Gonna see what's happening. So I don't know. I'm not sure. So shout out to Anarchy Television. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for loving on the like button wherever available. I don't know. You never know what's being played on. It's just I'm not sure what you're working with, so I couldn't troubleshoot. Yeah, well, this is just plain old. This is just plain old YouTube mobile stream. It's not. I'm not doing any software or any of that. I think that whole idea is going to just get scrapped. Because I was going to try to do use some vertical software, but even that seems like it's not. Maybe YouTube is not software friendly so much anymore. I think that's something that they're trying to add. That's a part of that's. I guess maybe they're at the drawing table working on that right now. But as of yet, no. It is what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'll just try to go over a couple of liners. Like I said before, we're not going to do a government like a Santa tracker. We're not going to be doing that around here. He says, I just use StreamYard when I stream. Yeah, well, I was getting even less traffic on that, so I decided to kind of come away from, I don't know. And StreamYard has gotten so expensive. I mean, I don't know what is it, about $80 a month or something like that? Maybe $100 a month. They've added a lot of bells and whistles, and I'm just not sure right now if that's what I want to do. I'm pretty sure that I don't even know if I care about the bells and whistles. I mean, I know how to do that. But it's also cumbersome. It's also cumbersome to come in here and if I want to bring a guest on, now that's one thing you can do on these vertical streams. You can invite somebody to stream with you, and it'll end up being, split screened. But, beyond that, I just don't know. I used to use StreamYard, and that used to be my go-to streaming, but I just don't, it seems a little bit stifled. So what I wanted to look at was the developments that's gone on. Like they keep talking about, to me, they're on a loop right now about when will the government shut down end and what will the path to reopening look like. I don't know. I've seen Mike Johnson. I've seen, senators over the weekend and all this stuff, and they're just still, to me, they're just still playing around. I don't know. And then, of course, I heard about the $2,000, was it a dividend from tariffs? But I don't think, I'm not even sure. I don't think that's the main goal, is to be kicking back tariffs, dividends to the American people. I don't think that's what the ultimate goal is. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to hurry up and wait. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know right now. So I thank you guys for loving on the like button. I want to also he says, remember, problem, reaction, solution. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I want to say thank you to the people that were on here just a little while ago before things went crazy. Shout out to Marcy T. Derek C. Williams was here. John Roberts was here. I don't remember who else was here. And if I don't mention you, it's not, don't charge it to my, don't charge it to my, don't charge it to me personally. I just want to thank the people that were able to come in, and then they got kind of, they had to, they got, either the sound went out or, it just didn't do me a lot of good to stay on when I'm, when there's no sound. So if the sound goes out, just let me know. So, I read all weekend about how the handful of Senate Democrats were helping advance in the funding bill Sunday night. So, it still has to pass. And, but then I also read earlier today that allegedly, that's the one that I wanted to talk about. Was that allegedly, it says, I appreciate you popping into my stream once. Oh yeah, for sure. I'll do even more. I have to, you got to have some kind of balance in life. Whether it's between this or whatever, you got to do. And I want to support other people. So here's the deal. So the main thing I wanted to be on about just for a little bit right now is the Trump administration renews Supreme Court appeal to keep full SNAP payments frozen. So I'm like, okay, so this pendulum just keeps swinging back and forth. Yes, no, maybe so. But yes, I'm always going to be supportive wherever I can. If I catch you on, then yeah, I'm definitely going to come in some shape or form or fashion. But according to this, so this happened, I guess, yesterday at today, updated on November 10th, 2025. It says, hi, Real Shelton, how are you? It says that President Donald Trump's administration returned to the Supreme Court on Monday in a push to keep the full payments in the SNAP federal food aid program frozen while the government is shut down, even as families struggle to put food on the table. The request is the latest in a flurry of legal activity over how the program that helps 42 million Americans buy groceries should proceed during the historic U.S. government shutdown. So, they should be happy by now. They got their historic piece in their narrative. Okay, they've got that. Okay, so allegedly, lower courts have ruled that the government must keep full payments flowing, and the Supreme Court asked the administration to respond after an appeals court ruled against it late Sunday. Yeah, again, late Sunday. So how are you, the real Shelton? Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Crazy times. And thank you guys so much for loving on the like button around here. Yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, I read that, earlier that the payments, that there were going to be penalties for these states if they did not freeze these actual benefits. So according to this, the High Court is expected to rule Tuesday. So I guess I'll stay tuned to that tomorrow. Some people are going to be off tomorrow, I guess. Some people won't. Yeah, but, but I hear you, but you know what I'm saying? Anarchy Television, they talked about the Doge payments earlier too. The Doge, what Doge was going to save, and and a dividend payment, something of the same narrative was in circulation back in actual March. But hey, I guess my check got lost in the mail, right? Yeah, so let's see. Hang on a second. So let's just grab this really quickly. So according to this, Brandy Johnson, 48 of St. Louis, said she's struggling to make the $20 she has left in her SNAP account stretch. Johnson said she has been skipping meals the past 2 weeks to make sure her 3 teenage children have something to eat. She is also helping care for her infant granddaughter who has food allergies and her 80-year-old mother. She said food pantries have offered little help in recent days. Many require patrons to live in a certain zip code or are dedicated to helping the elderly first. I think I think about it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, literally, end quote, Johnson said, because you've got to figure out how you're going to eat, end quote. So I just, I don't know. I have no idea what in the world is going on. Let's see. Anarchy says, for sure, mine got lost in the mail too. Yeah, I mean, these stimulus, the Doge deal, what I heard at one time, some odd 8 grand, and then down to 5 grand, and then the next thing you know, the bromance was over between Musk and Trump, and then so, but I just don't know what in the world, So, some people say, oh, well, this is all about, if he's gonna win the war, if he's gonna win the battle on, on his agenda, that they're gonna screw it up, the Democrats are gonna screw it up, and the debt and all this stuff. But I just don't. But to me, they found funds to do everything else. So who knows? I don't know what they're doing. I know it's our money, and nobody's asked us a dang thing about it. Hi, Flying Guillotine 22. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in and for loving on the like button. Loving on the like button. Love, share it out. I mean, that's something that I never really say. I never get those two words together. I don't get those two words together very often. Like, share, and subscribe. That used to roll off. I used to hear that so much in my beginning days on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. But I never really did that. As a matter of fact, to my surprise, I went on to Google today. I decided to Google myself today. And oh, thank you. Is it Fine Weather? Thank you, Fine Weather, for coming in, for loving and liking on the like button. I was able to actually find myself on Google. And I think in the past, I might be under 5, you had to deep dive just to find your own name or your own likeness profile for YouTube on Google. So, the chains, they take the chains off whenever they want, but they always let you know where you rank in the scheme of things. In the great scheme of things, they do that without a doubt. So so I guess I should start ringing that out. Like, share, and subscribe, and let's just keep stomping on them. Because it's like everything I gain, they siphon off a little bit. So for everything you get, they take a little bit. So I appreciate you guys so much for all the support. So also, I'm seeing millions receive aid while others wait. Now, I did hear a narrative about certain states that already had released some of the payments due to which state they were in or whatnot. So I'm just not sure, what's going to happen with all of this nonsense. But it is certainly that it's nonsense. And tomorrow, I guess I'll watch and see what's going on there. I'll see what's going on. Fine Weather, are you new to this channel? Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Let's see. All right. And of course, the airline industry, like I said, they're going to have to do something about that. It says you're I'm like, well, I appreciate it. It's been a journey, right? It's never the same. It's never the same route. Okay. From day to day, year to year, from 2018. Oh, well, thank you so much, Fine Weather. I really appreciate that. I can't really tell what's real, you know. And I think this is just the times that we live in. This is such a great time of of deception, and we don't know whether we're looking at you know real events. Are we looking at Sora? Are we looking at AI? A lot of times we don't know what we're looking at. Mankind, is being represented in just about, they're trying to find more ways to represent us. And they do that. Or is manipulation. These analytics can be manipulated. And, I have begun some level of redressing them about what happened in the past. But of course, they gaslight, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. We don't have any control over that. Well, no, but AI does. Okay, AI is the scapegoat. Shout out to Derek C. Williams, who shared that piece with me regarding. I really appreciate that, fine weather, and welcome in. Take a look around. And I always say shout out to the class of 2019, COVID-19, the class of COVID-19, the class of 2020, because, we were all sitting around on the LD, the lockdown together. We were. From California to I don't know we're all in the world, but we were all watching this thing unfold 5 years ago, over 5 years ago. We're going into 6 years, 6 years post COVID. I mean, actually, what will it be? March. He's Fine Weather says thanks and thank you. A is like a scapegoat. So shout out to Derek C. Williams. That made me think about the whole case with the 16-year-old boy who offed himself. Do it. Dare I say? I don't want to. I kind of want to say assume aside. I don't even know that. It's just, hey, we got to be crafty and so. But here again, self-censoring is a big deal. But yeah. So, and those parents of that young man, they're basically blaming the kid. They're blaming AI or ChatGPT. But there again, but so what? The first thing when they said that kid was homeschooled, I'm like, oh, see, you've already outsourced your kid. When I saw the video, when I saw some of the transcripts and some of the things that they were showing, you could tell a lot of these parents have already outsourced. They outsourced their kids to AI. You can see that when it comes to actual, and to me, some of these online schools, that's the same thing you're doing. You're just outsourcing your kid to some level of AI. For everything that the teacher behind the scenes is not doing, they're outsourcing their kids to AI. They've already outsourced the babysitters with they've been outsourcing the babysitters with iPads and iPhones, so it makes sense. Anarchy Television says, imagine what it's going to be like in 20 years. Touche. Absolutely. The outsourcing of kids, the outsourcing of parenting. Well, I'm sorry, AI, online school is not a substitute for parents. It's not a substitute for your parenting. But I'm not sure what they're going to do. I'm not sure how that case is going to play out. I guess it's one to watch. Fine Weather says, and algorithms are a real thing, definitely. AI gets blamed for big corporate tech decisions. Yeah, but I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be a situation in which, AI will be, are you gonna chase down AI and arrest them or go after these companies? And I don't know. I would imagine that a lot of, I think that's a lot of the problems with a lot of kids that just get on to like Chromebooks and forms of technology and just stay on those forms of technology. It's because it's a form of outsourcing. They outsource their brains, they outsource their efforts to AI, and it's being done incrementally or a gradualistic process. So before you know it, the human connection is so breached and so strained right now that people won't even recognize it. They don't realize that when they go out to eat, they're in competition. Rodney 1472, thank you so much for coming in. He said that's why you need actual human oversight. Yes, and even ChatGPT needs to be checked. No matter what task you give them, it still needs guidance, and it still needs, like, if you tell AI to create a document, even though it takes them, no time to put this document together, you still need the AI needs to have guidance when it comes to spatial awareness. Not, a lot of times you create a document, the document is half of the paper is still blank. And to me, that's not really that efficient, because you're kind of wasting it. In that regard, you're kind of wasting paper. You may even go down to a half sheet, and a half 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, just because AI is not that spatially aware. They're not, realizing that you're not trying to, you go through several, reams of paper, because they're cutting it off at half sheet. Or same thing with landscape. It doesn't really matter whether it's portrait or landscape. AI doesn't always, they don't always make the best use of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. They don't, much less your kid. So that's an interesting situation. But I would imagine that more of that's going to happen. And it's going to happen with video games. There's probably cases out there already, but again, shout out to Derek C. Williams for sharing that particular case with me regarding that. So thank you guys for coming in and loving on that like button. I love to see it. We also have, he says, we need to ban flock cameras and all technology that is affiliated with it. I hear you, Anarchy. Without a doubt. I mean, that's, it's really going to be something. I mean, but they kind of want a lot of professionals to get hooked on these programs. Because even like graphic design, and you can have a team and all this kind of thing. Like, you really don't even have to have a graphic design background right about now. I noticed that a lot of these programs will create something very cartoonish looking, It's like, okay, I don't know if I want these these animated looking people. I don't know if I want that kind of character in the background. Like, real imagery is also going away. Like, the real imagery is going away. They might represent the figures in some type of cartoon looking character, a comic book looking character, but rarely do they create anything with a lot of likeness. I don't know. I'm just saying it's definitely interesting times. And once again, thank you guys so much for loving on the like button. Those of you that are coming in, we're just talking a little bit about how this pendulum just kind of keeps on swinging back and forth with this situation regarding the Supreme Court appeals. And, I just think people are being used as FOD. Their lives are FOD. And for people to keep on saying, for when I see a lot of these patriots or right dialectic people, oh, well, I just think it's disgusting that they're still getting paid. I'm like, do you guys really think these people are living paycheck to paycheck? I mean, come on. Really? They're not living paycheck to paycheck, especially some of these people that have been in, like, somebody like Nancy Pelosi. You probably could shut the government down for a couple of years. And, you shut down longer than that. She's not going to feel it like you and I, man. I still don't know why most people are just so out of touch with these politicians and and the lives they actually lead. I don't understand that. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get some form of AI. They don't outsource this Congress to AI. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not on the way. Because, not too long ago, they were talking about an AI Bill of Rights and all this. And, you know, and then who will they blame for their shutdowns and all the crazy foolishness that they do, all the lies? What will they do? Who will they hold accountable? You might say, who are they holding accountable right now? And you might come up empty. Let's see. Anarchy says AI. He says Anarchy 8445 says, hey, I might eliminate a lot of graphic designers' jobs. But he also says, let's see, let me make sure. Just want to make sure I say hi to everybody that's in here. And thank you guys for loving on the like button. Anarchy Television, of course, he's here. The Real Shelton. Thank you, Real Shelton, for coming in. Flying Guillotine's here. Fine Weather. Your most generous Fine Weather. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for subscribing today. Shout out to you, and thank you for subscribing today. I appreciate it. I can't tell you more enough. I appreciate it. So yeah, so we've just been talking about here again, the Trump administration's, the demand for freezing these benefits, or the threat to the states that are not going to freeze them. They're going to, some type of penalty is in the works, allegedly, on that. Okay. So let's see what else. But tomorrow I'll keep an eye on that situation. Hang on again. I've got a lot of fun. A lot of fun coming from this little light right here. But I appreciate you guys so much for coming in and loving on the like button. And I will probably just come back tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for burning 26 minutes and 40 something seconds. So today is the 41st day of their historic, I'm going to call it their narrative. Okay. Because, they're juicing it up, beefing it up for their own narrative. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want you and I to be a part of the history, in the most painful ways. The common man, that's what they want. Watchman says, are we live? Yes, we're live. Watchman, are you getting any other signals out there? Can you hear me? Give me a 5x5 or an RLC if you cannot, because I had some issues earlier. Oh, it's not just yours. It's not just yours, Samoan. I've been in battle, it seems like, for a few days now. You know what it, you already know. You already know what it is. Yeah, YouTube is, shout out to Derek C. Williams, says YouTube is definitely on one today. So I'll probably come back tomorrow, and we'll see. I think there's something that's supposed to be voted on tomorrow. The High Court is expected to rule Tuesday on something. He said, good here, clear stream. Good to know. Let's see. Let me just try to put this on here just a quick second here. We'll try that, and then here I'll bring some other light in. I appreciate it, guys. So yeah, we'll just have to see. And ooh, that's a bit more than I wanted to do. Okay. All right, guys. So I'll definitely probably see you sometime tomorrow. And if you have the day off, do something for yourself. It's kind of blustery around here. I think there's a freeze watch, a freeze warning, something like that on tap for, So we'll see what shakes loose and all of it. But if anything else ground shaking or earth shattering comes along, I'll be certain to come back. And thank you guys for those of you who came in and hit that like button. I really appreciate it. So long for now. Thank you, Fine Weather, for coming in and for subscribing today. Thank you, Watchmen. Thank you so much for coming in. Anarchy Television 8445. Rodney 1472. As well as, let's see, who else do we have? Flying Guillotine 8445. And it looks like it's going to wrap us up. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. And I guess I'm saying so long. I'm all over the place today. So long for now. Uh-oh. Hang on a second, guys. Thank you so much.